Hey everyone, new video here. This is my STI. I've had this for about 3 months now. I just went Cobb Stage 1 Plus about 2 weeks ago, and I want to show you a couple things that I've found. I also installed the boost gauge that I have found, and I have a question to see if anybody might know the answer to. The first thing I want to show is that a lot of people say that the SI drive is only for throttle response and it's just sort of a gimmick. However, it's not. It also controls your boost, and I will show that to you. It does control your throttle response, and there is another video that someone did on YouTube that shows the boost changing, but I believe he was only doing it at half throttle. So if your throttle response is changing and you're at half throttle, it could be different between the modes. So I'm going to do it at full throttle in all 3 modes and show you what's happening. The question that I have is that it seems like when I get above 15 PSI, it starts, I describe it as bypass valve fluttering, where I hear the bypass valve letting air out, and the needle will bounce up and down by about 1 PSI or so. So I'm not sure if it's the bypass valve not being able to hold boost, or if it's something to do with the wastegate, or what it could be. So I want to show that to you, let you hear, if you can hear the sound that it's making, and see if anybody knows what that might be. And the other thing is I will let you hear what a stock exhaust, stock everything STI sounds like. Well, it's not stock, but apart from the intake and the Cobb software, the Accessport version 3, and the boost gauge, that's all I have done to it. So you'll be able to hear the difference that the intake makes, and lets you actually hear the turbo spool and the bypass. So we're gonna go out here, windows are down, get on the interstate, and I'll show you the difference between the 3 modes and this little issue that I'm having. Engine's fully warmed up, everything's good to go, so it's not an issue of being cold or whatever. Right now we are in I mode, the intelligent fuel economy one. So in I, it always takes it right to 8 PSI. That's as much as it'll do. It won't go any higher than that. I don't have any issues with the bypass flutter. So we can even do full throttle right here. Full throttle, 8 PSI consistent. Holds at 8 the whole time. That's 3rd gear. Do the same in 4th right here. 8 PSI, holds right there. Doesn't move. So that's I. Both at full throttle. So now we're on the interstate. I'm going to go to sport mode, S. I do feel the throttle kick up a little bit. So let's do 4th gear, full throttle. Goes to 15 PSI. Consistently does that. And I can see the flutter a little bit in the needle right at 15. So let's slow down to be 55. 4th gear, pull. 15 PSI consistent. No flutter in the needle. I have seen flutter in the needle before at that point, but it's not consistent flutter. It's only every once in a while. Another pull, 15 PSI. Okay, so that's sport, 15 PSI. We're now going to switch to sport sharp. And we'll do the same thing again in 4th gear, full throttle. Drop down a little bit. Here we go. PSI. Maybe 18 tops. Mine seems to be, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video. It's also not fluttering as much as it was yesterday, but it's jumping around between 18 and 17 PSI back and forth. It's not today. Go figure. Go figure it's not doing it today. So I don't know why. I was on the interstate, exact same conditions yesterday, probably about the same temperature, everything, and I was getting that little flutter. And yesterday it was probably bouncing more between 16 and 18. Full throttle, 18 PSI. It's jiggling by about maybe half a PSI today at most, but I can see the needle jiggling ever so slightly, and I can also hear it. I hear it coming through the bypass valve rather than, I guess it's normally controlled by the wastegate, and the bypass valve only lets it out when you're off throttle, whereas I hear the bypass valve letting little bits of air out when it's maxed there. I don't know, there might be too much road noise from other cars to hear it today. We'll try one more time right here. No, it's pretty firm today, so I don't know what changed. So let's get off the interstate. And I don't know if you've been able to hear the bypass valve this whole time. So the video might get a little more jiggly now since it's not as smooth, but we'll be slower, so at least you'll be able to hopefully hear the bypass valve with the stock mic on the camera. Kind of crazy the difference that just switching the intake out makes, given you have to do the software too, or else you can damage the engine or something. That's what the warning on the intake said. But it's crazy how you get that much sound difference just from an intake. You can actually hear the turbo spool and bypass. Alright, so if you haven't heard it by now, probably not going to hear it because of the camera. But anyway, that's my video. Hopefully someone out there will have a answer for me for my little issue that I'm having. Sorry it wasn't doing it that much in the video, but at least I can sort of describe and show you where it's doing it. And again, I do hear the bypass valve almost just puffing little bits of air past while it's at max. So the thing that I'm thinking that it is the bypass valve isn't able to hold the boost, so I don't know if I need to upgrade my bypass valve. Hopefully it's just that and not something in the turbo or the wastegate, whatnot. Alright, so thanks for watching. See ya.